Welcome to the episode of Love and Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, I'm going to share my thoughts on the upcoming series on CW Fight to Survive. But before I dive in, folks, I just want to share with you guys a little bit of an update about the Love and Reality Podcast. Each week, you can catch my recaps of Temptation Island across all podcast platforms, but I'm also going to start releasing just video content here on YouTube that you'll be able to catch right here. So with that being said, if you want to check out some of the other stuff on the Love and Reality Podcast, you can check it out right here on YouTube or subscribe to wherever you get your podcasts. That being said, on the CW, August 10th, each week, they're going to have new episodes of the brand new series at 8 p.m. Eastern time called Fight to Survive. What is Fight to Survive, you ask? Fight to Survive follows 17 competitors set out to survive on a remote island for 25 days while fighting each other to win $250,000. The battle is on to control of the island's natural resources. Alliances are forged, tensions rise as one of the competitors can challenge another to a fight. Now, folks, I watched the pilot of the series and break down my running thoughts of everything that went down throughout this entire episode. Now, first, you're probably like, all right, this seems like something we've seen 1,000 times with the other varieties, the survival shows that we've seen on every network, everywhere in the world. And you know what? You're partially not wrong here. However, we get a little montage of some of the folks that are going to be on the show, from folks that were on Naked and Afraid, to military specialists, to a YouTube survivalist, to American Ninja Warrior competitors, to some hunters, all of them entering the island of Fiji. Our host runs down some of the things available on the island. There's water resources, food resources with fish, shelter resources, and fire resources. However, when one of the competitors find one of these resources, it is there to do with whatever they want. That said, you get to wear a little necklace, okay? That said, they will have to defend it, to which a contestant can call a resource challenge. They must hunt down this drum, beat on the drum, and they will battle for that resource. That, to me, kind of hooked me in right away. However, the person that challenges that person for the resource, if they don't successfully win, they are exiled from the island. So if I've got the water resource and a person challenges me and I beat them, they're out the island. But if I lose, they get my resource and I stay. Each person will have a random item at their disposal, like resources they can lose, those in battles as well. So basically there's spears, there's goggles, there's pots, there's fire starters, all of these things. Each battle will take place in the arena. And again, if the owner loses the fight, they must surrender the tool. If the challenger loses, they are banished from the island. I'm pretty excited. I was really, really excited once I kind of found some of the twists and turns that they're going to try to make this a little bit differently. The only way off the island is by tapping out or being medically evacuated. Now, that being said, the rules are as follows. However many people are at the end of this game, after 25 days, they will split $100,000. However, the twist that they threw in here, if there's one person that ends up on top at the end of the 25 days, they can win $250,000. Now, right off the rip, they fucking disperse and head off to find these resources. Zane ended up with the water resource. Jonathan got the food resource. Makana got the shelter resource. And then, of course, Sarah ended up with the fire resource. We start to see folks kind of start working together, combining some resources. Sarah coming over weirdly with this snake wrapped around her neck, kind of terrifying a little bit, but we're already starting to see battles ensue and kind of talking and making those alliances early on in these stages, trying to figure out who's going to be who and what's going to be what. We got Robbie, an MMA fighter, and Amel is taking charge. Like, she just comes into the camp and just starts barking orders, and everybody gets upset about it. And I mean, people start getting really upset. Like, we are in day one and Amel's pissing off everyone rather quickly. That said, she does get the fire started for everyone. The thing about it is like the competitive nature of you in this type of game, you want to establish that dominance early, but at the same time, you don't want to be too dominant because then you get that big target on your back. Jay, Amel, and Missy all seem to be working together, with Jay snagging a massive snake to cook for dinner tonight. We're starting to see people make these alliances and how they're going to tackle this competition. Amel and Missy both have targets on their back because they people think that they both have this backstabby feel to them. Matt, the YouTube survivalist, is struggling in day one already as he's throwing up, as he feels sick and dizzy. My guy is not looking so hot, and maybe his subscriber count is going to be down a little bit too if he can't, cut the cut it out here. Kay, one of the guys who's trying to be the leader, is asking everyone in their group not to do challenges. Dana is already struggling. We have our second contestant. We are like day one here, and we've got two people bouncing against the ropes that are possibly going to leave, because again, the only way you can leave the island is tapping out or being medically evacuated. So we got two people already on the fence that's possible. Now, that being said, Libby says she's worried about Dana is sick and isn't doing well. They're worried, but Sarah says Dana did 82 days on Naked and Afraid. 82 days on Naked and Afraid. That's an incredible amount of days. But not only that, to find out she did it, and then she did it on this vegan way. She didn't even eat meat the entire time. She's a boss, right? Stephanie and Yuta are talking shit about the rest of the group, about how Mel woke up barking orders at everyone. And on what everyone should be doing. Amel is mentioning to the team that they will need to go to the fire resources to Sarah and say they want some wood, and they're gonna have to challenge for it and take it from her. Everyone isn't thrilled about this because that means they're opening up to the possibility of the idea of being the first to challenge, and then of course kind of putting those targets on their back. You don't want to be the first to go out there and say I want your shit, and then worry, hey, what's going to go on? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, so they're going to be the aggressors. But that being said, our YouTube survivalist is out the door. First to go, as the doctors and producers saying he's having to leave the show. They say he has an infection and a fever that is very dangerous and that his life has to come first. First person out the door, YouTube survivalist. How do you bounce back from this is the real question. You know what I mean? How, as a YouTube survivalist, do you go back to your YouTube channel and be like, hey guys, I was booted off the island on my first opportunity. Not sure what happened. I got sick, but definitely interesting. Sarah got all upset. She says she can't lose Matt, that he's a great guy and he's great at cuddling. Okay. Well, shit. We got Dana. Back to back, folks. Back to back people being kicked off. We are day one. These folks are dropping like fives. I do feel bad for Dana, as she was trying. She's a bit emotional as they already are getting the boot. All this work and two folks already booted within 24 hours of being on the island. We are down to 15 people. 15 people in episode one, day one. We got 24 more days. And there are already two people out the door. Sarah comes over to Mel's tribe to bring some firewood, announcing that it is her birthday. Mel is upset because she has said it 4 times, and she said she's said happy birthday to her multiple times. Mel isn't thrilled with Sarah's I care about everyone approach because she feels like people are going to fall for that trap and kind of reel her in and be her friend easily because of that. Again, we're playing games here. We're trying to win some cash here. However, things get quickly wild with Sarah calling out Amel for bullying her for taking her wood. Amel said she wasn't bullying her and said the bullies bully people for being insecure. These two kind of get heated at each other. Amel said the wood was bullshit and she wasn't bullying them. And the other girls are, and then of course, Sarah kind of gives it back to her and goes, hey, the other girls would say something, but they're too scared of you. And would say something she wants and don't want to say anything because everybody knows that she's a bitch. Like Sarah's out here. Like, that's the thing. Mel's over here taking control and everybody's kind of afraid of that dominance early on. Now, you don't want to kind of like go over the top of her at all because you don't want to show that you are a threat. But at the same time, maybe you want to fall in line a little bit to kind of get in between. Mel said she's never been a bitch. If anything, she's been kind to her, and Mel's not thrilled. But Sarah said she might be misunderstanding her communication. And Mel said, if I didn't like you, I would let you know. The thing about it is, like, Amel is like just plotting to take her necklace like 15 minutes ago. I don't even really know. Yuta and Kay are both out fishing, getting some fish. Missy is mad because nobody was sharing the fish with her. She's ready to throw down. If you want some fish, go get in the water, get you some fish, or and offer something to the table. Hey, what can I do to help you catch these fish? Like, I don't have the items, but maybe I can grab them for you. Maybe I can get a bucket or something to help you get them onto the island. This guy's just catching fish and tossing them onto the mainland. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely interesting to see kind of that unfold. She's getting upset. She goes back to the lair with Amel and says she is going to keep making peace because Yuta is catching fish and not really sharing it. She said they're lying about no fish and that they are baiting them to challenge them to starve them and take them out one by one by one. Everybody, and I mean everybody, gets Missy all fired up. She heads to the drums. Now, we find out relatively fast that if a girl challenges a guy, you get to pick a tag team partner to go into the arena with. So a girl gets to pick a guy and a guy gets to pick a girl, right? You can't do girl versus guy battle. So that being said, she starts beating on the drum and she says, they made me do it. She wouldn't have done it, but they made her. I was freaking excited. I wanted to see this first battle. What was going to happen? How does it happen? Our host Akbar shows up and summons them to the battlegrounds. She announces she wants to challenge for the fishing spear, and she's ready to take it from Kay. The rules, as I mentioned, it's a 2-on-2 battle. This entire setup, this is what makes this show a little bit from the rest. My brother said, I was talking to my brother about it. He said this is a little bit like the challenge and how they do things on there. So if you're on the lookout, be on the lookout for some content for that coming soon. I will be recapping some of the challenge here in the near future. That being said, Kay calls out their approach to the battle. The battle ensues tonight after sunset. So Missy picks Jay. Kay picks Christina as his tag team partner. If Kay loses, Missy becomes the owner of the spear. But if Missy loses, she is off the island. The totem is brought to the center of the ring, and folks, this is this circle thing, basically, and everybody has to grab a hold of it, right? So whoever is, you're in a circle, 4 people, grab a hold of it with one arm. You have it, right? It's this little circle totem thing. Whoever lets go, whoever grabs it and gets out of the circle is the winner of the challenge. Now, mind you, this K character, I mean, he might be a survivalist of some sort of whatever it was. I don't remember what he exactly did here. But this guy is like 5'2", like $150 or something like that. And Jay, who Missy brought in. Now, again, this was strategic, right? If the girl challenges the guy, you get the tag team. If you're doing it one-on-one, it's different. But she brings Jay to the equation. This Jay guy is ripped. He's massive. He's like 2 times this. Like, he is the size of Kay and Christina together. Like, they're tag team partners here. But the totem is brought to the center. The person that takes sole possession of it wins the match, and we go from there. They all get geared up. Everybody grabs the totem, and we start wrestling for it. And Jay just uses his strength right off the rip. And, like, Christina gets shoved to the ground. And, like, they're fighting on top of Christina, who's getting, like, all this dirt thrown up on her. We see a couple kicks happen. Akbar comes in and says, no, you're not allowed to do that. We want a fair fight. I'm like, we're fighting for, like, my position on the island. There's not going to be any fair fights. But Jay grabs it. It looks like we got a figure 4 leg lock, Ric Flair style happening. Christina shoved to the ground after the fight. You know, we boom, 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 boom. Of course, Missy and Jay win. That means Missy and Jay win the battle. This entire sequence was so awesome. I loved every moment of it. Christina complained after the battle that she got kneed in the middle of the fight. Well, maybe if you weren't laying on the ground, you wouldn't have got kneed. But, whew. So I got a little fired up there. They were remembering all this entire situation. Folks, I'm telling you, if you're looking for a show to watch and just get invested, this is the type of show. On the way out, Missy said, if you get fish, you share the fish. but now she's slowly but surely taking them out one by one. She hopes to ring the drum again in the near future. Zayn sees how Missy and her team acted, and that is going to be playing hardball with the water now. He said, and then of course somebody else says they were Missy was complaining about the lack of fish, but wasn't out there trying to get it herself. Exactly. If you try to get some fish, I'm going to share my fish because you're trying to help me. But here we are. He said they will have to force them to challenge. The others mentioned that they haven't given up. They're not going to give up their goods like the fire starter or the pot. They said if they go 2 days, they'll be depleted. And if they challenge, they'll be able to take them down. Zayn wants Jay gone, and he wants him down bad. Zayn said they're calling a powwow. Zayn announces to Jay that after they play hardball the way they did, that if they want to go to battle, they must challenge him in the ring for it because they are no longer sharing goods with each other. Jay tells the camera that he needs water to survive, so if he wants to get into the ring, let's do it. Zayn said it's now 2 or 3 days away from now. He's challenging, he's coming. The rest follow suit by saying they ain't getting no pots of fire. Jay said that he will go one-on-one and he will take over the water. Missy said they're going to challenge for everything. She will make a ringtone by banging the drum every single day. Again, they play this smart here. Jay could have went one-on-one with Zayn, but instead, Amel lines up. She bangs the drum, right? We're going to get another tag team match here with Jay ramping up Amel. She smashes the drum. They smartly do it, making her make the challenge. Folks, that's it for episode 1. I was a little hesitant about this show. We've seen 100 different variations, but this was the first episode. It was very fun, very cutthroat. I highly recommend checking out Fight to Survive out. I can't wait to watch it for the next few weeks. It debuts August 10th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the CW. You can follow it every single week on the CW. I'm going to try to do some more recaps of the show. Folks, real quick before we go, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, everything on the podcast. It's greatly appreciated. It goes far on YouTube. I need as much love as you can possibly give me. But furthermore, the challenge starts tonight as well. Later tonight, you'll see my recap of episode 1 of the Challenge USA Season 2. I will be recovering episode 1, and then episode 2 will drop August the 13th, which is this coming Sunday. Make sure to check out the podcast as you will hear me dropping my latest recap for Temptation Island. That dropped yesterday. Like I said, I'm going to do a little bit more video content for the Love and Reality podcast and drop some of that stuff. Upcoming stuff I've got the Ultimatum coming up right around the corner. That season is insane. Not sure you guys are ready for that, but thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check out Fight to Survive weekly on the CW Network.